How is everybody doing? Welcome back to another episode of The Banker Next Door. I'm your host, Dr. Joe Berquist. In this episode, I wanted to talk to everybody about the Paze digital wallet, which is basically coming out from a fintech company called Early Warning Systems. And I wanted to bring up an article here that I had seen in S&P Global Market Intelligence. And I just wanted to talk to everybody a little bit about what this is. And this article is entitled "The Biggest U.S. Banks Gearing Up for the Paze Digital Wallet Marketing Campaign." And so basically, several large banks behind Paze, a new digital wallet, are preparing a marketing campaign to drive nationwide awareness of the app that aims to compete with PayPal and Apple Pay. So Paze is developed and operated by bank-owned financial technology company Early Warning Services, LLC, which also operates Zelle or the Zelle app. One of the owners, I'll go into all of the owners here are, let's just run through them. So we got JP Morgan Chase, we got Bank of America, Capital One, PNC, Truist, US Bank Corp, and Wells Fargo are all owners of this entity called Early Warning Services LLC, which operates the Zelle app and has now created this new Paze digital wallet. So let's see here. And so basically all these bank owners, they're going to join this campaign later in 2024 to market Paze through their consumer channels. Basically says James Anderson, who's the managing director of Paze at Early Warning Services. Most of the banks have also set up introductory web pages about how to use the product. The launch of Paze, which is used to make payments for online orders, is an example of the way banks are joining the digital wallet market at a time when competition is escalating from non-banks. In a notable recent development, technology giant Apple Inc. Announced a partnership with Affirm Holdings in June to introduce a buy now, pay later option for customers using Apple Pay at checkout. So Early Warning Services is loading credit and debit cards issued by participating financial institutions across 50 states into Paze through the summer. Anderson said the process will add cardholders' banking information into the Paze wallet, including encrypted data about users' card numbers and email addresses, mobile numbers, and billing addresses. So as a result, users would not have to sign up for Paze separately and would be presented with an option to use Paze at checkout when they enter the email addresses they already use at their bank's digital applications. So Paze will authenticate the consumer by sending a one-time password via a text message using the mobile number on file. The financial institutions will inform consumers after their cards are loaded into Paze, and consumers can choose to opt out if they do not wish to use or share data with the app, Anderson said. So while Paze holds bank card information, it does not share users' actual card numbers with merchants. Anderson said the platform tokenizes the 16-digit card number with a unique digital identifier that has no further use after the original transaction, he added. Such easy access helped through participating banks and credit unions differentiates Paze from fintech companies' digital wallets such as PayPal Holding Inc.'s payment apps, PayPal and Venmo, Shopify Inc.'s ShopPay, and Block Inc.'s Cash App, in which consumers are expected to provide personal and banking information before they can use the payment apps. So I think this is a very interesting new app that's coming on the market. I find this interesting. So it's a digital wallet. I find the release of this kind of interesting, but I want to go back to a second here and just comment on something. So while Paze holds bank card information, it does not share users' actual card numbers with merchants. Why do you think that is? I'm going to ask that question. Why do you think that is? That is because changes were made to merchants. So in other words, if you go to a website now and a merchant stores your credit card information, that merchant now has to have they have to kind of have a whole plan in place for how they're going to manage that sensitive data. And they have to have a policy, procedures, things in place to basically say, okay, here's how we're going to manage that data. Here's how we're going to back it up. Here's how we're going to encrypt it. Here's how we're going to make sure that data doesn't get stolen. But if it does get stolen, then what are we going to do? And that in that moment. Like, how are we going, if we have a data leak, how are we going to manage that? What are we going to do? Yada, yada, yada. But then in addition, it also adds to the insurance cost for that merchant as well. Like if they're going to store customers' data, customers' information, such as sensitive credit card information, then, their business insurance is going to be a little bit more costly because they got to, basically, cover for that potential risk of a data leak and so on and so forth. So, so that goes for anybody who might be using your information online to store that. So again, just kind of an interesting sidebar there, interesting thing to note there. So maybe just something to think about when you're out and about, if you're buying stuff or, putting sorts. So, just things that like, I mean, if you're using, you store your card on Amazon, buy stuff on Amazon, or like you said, PayPal, whatever, like, you store your card information. Like obviously they're larger companies, big budgets, they can do that. But if you're dealing with like, kind of a mom and pop operator, and you're just on their site and they've got a merch store or something, and you're buying something, like they're probably not going to store your credit card information because of all the things I just mentioned. So it's just like I said, just something to be aware of. But so yeah, I find this interesting that Paze is going to going to compete against basically Apple Pay, PayPal. But it's a digital wallet, and what got me thinking about this, what I thought was interesting here was the fact of I thought about cryptocurrencies, right? So when you buy cryptocurrency, the first thing you have to do is you have to go set up a digital wallet. So say you were using a company, let's see, what are we thinking of? So say you're using Coinbase. So you go to Coinbase and you want to sign up to buy some you want to buy some Bitcoin or some Ethereum or something over Coinbase. So the first thing you have to do is you got to set up a digital wallet. You got to set up a digital wallet, then you got to encrypt it. You got to get a couple of two-factor authentication set up. You need like a separate app for that. So then you set that up, and then now that you have your digital wallet, and then you transfer money into the digital wallet, and then through that you make the purchase of the Bitcoin, and then the Bitcoin sits in your digital wallet. So I find the timing of this rather interesting. I mean, it could seem rather innocent on its face, that like, oh, okay, it's just a digital wallet, whatever. I mean, there's lots of digital wallets out there you could go to get, but just the fact that this is coming from, early warning systems again, which is, most of the big banks in the country, and, that also own the Zelle app and run the Zelle app. And I'm sure that for any banks other than these big guys, that if smaller banks want to participate in this, I'm sure they absolutely can. But the question is what's the cost going to be? Zelle is not cheap for smaller banks to get into, and I would imagine this would probably be about the same. I can't imagine that this is going to be relatively cheap to get into, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I have to look at more of the finer details of this thing, but I thought it was very interesting. I don't know. I think you kind of think about central bank digital currency when I saw this, and I thought, well, are they rolling this out because they're trying to hedge their bet that if somehow, some way the Fed does roll out a central bank digital currency, that they go, hey, we've already got Zelle, and we've already got our Paze, digital app. It's all set up, ready to go. It's all there. And if you get your central bank digital currency, oh, hey, we just load it right up through your account. It goes right into your Paze digital wallet, and boom, voila, you're ready to go. And then you just run around buying stuff, that was a thought that, crossed my mind and ran through when I was looking at this. So again, just thought this was kind of interesting. Just wanted to share it with everybody. And I think just something to keep an eye on, but apparently they're going to have websites and things set up. Every one of these major banks here that's involved in this is going to have websites set up. They're going to be doing like a marketing campaign on this later this year. So I would just keep an eye out for that and see what happens, and maybe do a little research on this if you're interested. And and if I get more information on this in the next 6 months, I'll be sure to bring it back and share it with everybody. And see, where things go from there. So, but if you like this episode, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. That always helps the channel. Please make sure to remember we are on YouTube, Rumble, and all major podcast platforms. Please leave your comments down below. And if you do have comments on this, I would be really interested to hear them. And I will be back very soon with more episodes. So thanks a lot, everybody, and see you again soon.